Hey, it's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Tyler Perry's Sister Season 3, Episode 7, Protecting Myself. And I said, who need to protect themselves? It had to be Fatima, because she was saying how she had to protect her heart from Zach. She wasn't going to give it over to him and let him get in there, so she told Andy she had to protect herself. And I understand that. So, and before we get started, shout out to everybody in my comment section and shout out to all my new subscribers. I love you guys. Continue to help my channel grow by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Hit that little subscribe button right there and help Barbie J's channel grow. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Now let's get started. So Sabrina is standing in the middle of the bank and just don't know what to do. She just lost. And Maurice come out there and said, what did that man say? And she said, you heard him. You said him. He's saying that I sexually harassed him and stuff. And she's like, but you know that's not true. You know me and stuff. He's like, you cannot sleep with subordinates. You are a manager and you know you can't sleep with subordinates and stuff. But you know me. He came on to me. He came to my house. He said, and then he came in here. He said, and then it came. Look, Maurice, this is not the time for that. But it's the truth. Don't say nothing happened when shit did happen. Everything went down. And he's like, if I was you, I'd get even. And she's like, get even? Yeah, get even. When they play dirty, you play dirtier. And I understand what he's saying, but that type of dirt he want to do is not cool. Because he wants her to go to the priest and say, he raped me. He raped me. I can't remember his name. He raped me. But she was like, too many women get hurt like that. They've been getting hurt daily. She don't want to do that and go low. She don't like going in the dark places like that or something like that. And he said, look, when they go low, you dig a ditch, baby. It's usually you go lower or high or whatever. But he was like, you dig a ditch. He said, you got to fight fire with fire and set that bitch off. And I understand what he's saying. But I understand what she's saying too. But she gonna have to realize if he gonna play dirty, she better come correct and do something. Else she could lose her job. This is her job on the line. I don't know what this child was thinking. Oh my goodness. So Fatima, she walks into Andy's office with that hot yellow dress on. She knows she looked good in yellow. I mean, I remember Tyler named the episode The Yellow Dress. That's when they first introduced her. But anyway, so she walks in there and says that Rodney Audrey is back, the attorney's back. And she's like, already? And she's like, yeah. She said, well, I was about to go to lunch with the girls. She said, you want me to cancel or postpone it or something? And she said, no, cancel with the girls. So she going to have her cancel with the girls so she can see what's going on with this attorney. I understand. That's her money. And she didn't really want to go out with the girls anyway. But then Fatima said, okay, and then I'll bring him down. She said, no, I'll get him. Because Fatima acting all girly around him because the man is so fine and stuff. So she calls Danny to cancel. And Danny's like, She's like real cool. And then she hangs up and said, heifer. And I'm sitting there going, what happened to all that wedding coolness? They were so cool and tight and all that at the wedding. And I see you, but I'm still watching you. I mean, what was all of that? Tyler, come on now, TP, get the script right, because one minute they was cool, now all of a sudden she calling her a heifer, and that don't make no sense. Then Fatima going there. Andy sees the guy, and the guy is like, okay, my client wants to settle and stuff, and she said, well, that's what I like to hear, and she wants to do it right then and there and stuff, but he wants to wait and do it at dinner time and over dinner. And she was like, that's highly inappropriate. I'm sure you learned that when you got your law degree and stuff. And he was like, now if I was a single woman, came to town and didn't know anybody, all I'm asking is, so I don't have to eat alone and all this stuff. She said, well, I guess I can have dinner with somebody, we could do it around 8 o'clock or something. He's telling her where, and he's all excited about, he wants to go. But she's right. It is inappropriate. So, but they want to settle. It seemed like there was something else that I'm forgetting about that conversation. But anyway, if I remember later, I'll go back to it. Y'all let me know in the comment section. So, he leaves out. Fatima comes in and she's looking down the hallway, watching him walk, and said, I called Andy and such and such. She was like, I'm Andy. She said, oh man, he's so fine. I can't help myself. I keep looking at him. And she said, that man don't bother you none. He don't bother you none at all. And she was like, no, he don't look, no, he don't. She's like, yeah, that's why your nipples are hard. She could see her nipples through the thing. Oh, I remember what else I wanted to tell y'all. She told Andy told Fatima to ask the girls that she had to cancel and ask them, can they meet her for happy hour later? That's what it was. But then how is it she meeting them for happy hour if she's going out to dinner with that guy at 8? When is happy hour? Is that between 6 and 8? Maybe that's what she gonna eat. Well, she better not drink while she there. Lord help her. Anyway, so then it goes to Fatima sitting in her office and Hayden pops in. I'm like, where in the hell would they bring Hayden back for? What is up his sleeve? So he comes back in there and he says something to her, how you doing, all this stuff. And she said, okay, Hayden, we got to work together, but lay off on all of that stuff, you know. So he's like, okay, fine, you know. And he went back to his office and he called Dion and said, did you call him yet? Did you call him yet? He's like, no, I didn't. He said, call him now, call him now. So he's still mad because he's feeling Fatima is with Zach. So he has Dion call Zach and tell Zach, you know, Zach is like, who's this? Zach's mad at himself because he done lost that $19,000, dumbass. He had lost that money. I'm sorry, y'all. But he lost that money. Oh. He lost that money. And so Zach is like, please tell me you got another job. Oh, no, that's what I was calling to tell you, you know. We don't have any more projects around now. We're going to have to put you in a pool with all the other people waiting until something comes up, and then we'll call you. He said, well, I feel like y'all not going to call me, like nothing's going to come up. Yo, brother, I'm sorry, you know. I mean, that's what it is. And he's like, okay, fine, cool. But meanwhile, he's on the phone call, making faces and being stupid. What the fuck? He doing all this stuff, you know, because he's so mad. But he's really mad at himself. So when he hangs up, Danny comes in walking up, and she felt since they canceled on lunch, she would go and have lunch with Zach. But she was trying to joke around with him, and Zach was in a bad mood, wasn't in the mood to joke, was pissed off and everything. And he said, you know, and he started talking about, she was like, I was just trying to play with you. I was trying to, and he's like, you know, y'all always do this and y'all don't know how you gonna do this when you don't know what you want. And she was like, don't start with the generalizing women and stuff. I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but he was generalizing women, and it's like, don't do that. Y'all don't even know what you want. So how you know? And he was going, she was like, you know what? My bad for wanting to talk to you, you know, coming over here and being nice. She said, what are you going to do? You want to live with me, Zach? He's like, I messed up real bad. And she's like, what's wrong? And he didn't want to tell, but I think he might tell over lunch because she said she would pay. He said, you paying? Yeah. Because she's like, you don't have money. He said, no, I don't have money. She said, you had money yesterday. He said, that was yesterday. I don't have no money today. So he really lost all that money, his dumb ass. I cannot believe it. So then, so he tells Danny that he lost all money. He had $25,000, gave $5,000 to Karen, and then his dumbass put $20,000 on a stock and lost it all. And he said, every time I think I'm coming up, I do something, mess up or something. I think he admitted that he messes shit up. And then so Danny, you know, trying to do her little wisdom and talking to him, and I see that you're trying and you're doing this and you're doing that, and but one thing I know, she said, like my grandma used to say. He said, oh please, I don't want to hear none of your grandma sayings. Your grandma was senile and all. She said, look, don't start talking about my grandmother, all right? She said, are you going to listen and hear what I'm trying to say? You know, she said, didn't you just get stabbed? And she just yelling out all this stuff that he said, could you stop? You're not making me feel better. She's trying to say stuff that she said, but I see you trying and you're trying to come up, and but one thing I know about you, you don't quit, you don't stop. And he's like, well, thank you for that, you know. But she was like, come on, I'll buy you a sandwich. But then he's like, well, what are you doing here anyway? She's supposed to be off, she's still there. But I think Danny is still there because she's avoiding going home to be with Preston. So she told him she'll go buy Zach a half a sandwich. That means she buying one sandwich and sharing it with him, basically. And he's like, I'm gonna take it because I ain't got no money now. Andy's asking Fatima to get me all the files on Robin, for a meeting tonight. A meeting, really? With who? With the guy and with the attorney. She said, and what's Gary gonna say about this? And she's like, I'm not telling him. She said, do you think that's a wise thing to do? And she was like, it is now, it's she kept saying it's business, she's making herself believe it's business, but she knows she felt something. She said, I really think you should tell him. She said, I want to, but not right now. It's not the time. What does that mean? So instead of her telling what it means, she deflects and asks Fatima what's going on with her. And Fatima talked about is Zach, and she's like, uh-oh. And she said, sit down, and she's telling her what happened, how Zach was begging her. She said, oh, that's why he was here? Yeah, begging to come over and all this stuff. And she said, girl, as soon as he got in the door, he wasn't in the door, and it was getting it in. And Andy like turning up her face like, oh, like she can't stand, like you would do if it was your parents. Like, oh, they having sex. I'm like, girl, Zach look better than Gary to me, really? So Fatima is saying how she starts shaking. She said, I don't stop till I stop shaking. I'll be up there. She said, uh-oh, I'm looking at that look. That's the same thing he do for Karen. She was like, I'm not going to talk to you about their business. I told you I'm not going to do that. She said, well, the look on your face tells it anyway. She said, I know you already did, but she tells her she's not going to discuss it. And I don't understand this because how Andy feels like she could give people relationship advice and her shit is all jacked up. And Fatima told her she don't want to give her heart, I don't want to tell him that I like him because Andy's telling her to go after him, but she said, I'm not going to let him mess up my heart. I'm not going to tell him that. And she said, you need to open up. She said, no, I'm protecting myself. I got to protect myself, which is right. And Andy shared a story about when she first met, what's his name? I guess Gary, and how she said she knew he was married and she wasn't going to let this guy fall. She wasn't going to fall for him. We just going to be friends. And poof, here we go with this. And she been through so much stuff with him, but she don't want to tell Fatima all the dirt, all the tea. Is that it, right? So, anyway, so she hasn't asked her yet to go to the house and get her stuff. So I wonder, I guess that's going to be in one of the next scenes. But that was that. So Fatima's telling Andy, you need to check out this guy. He is single, honey. He is single and he's rich. And she said, you see how that rhymes? Rich and love rhymes. She was like, and that was rhyming with them two things. And she said, Andy's looking at her like, girl, you done lost your damn mind. She was like, you know what? She said, why don't you marry him? She said, I can't marry him. She said, I see the way his ass look at you, So she asked her, can she go to the house and pick up a dress for her? And she said, why? You can't wear what you got on? What's wrong with what you got on? You need to look better. It's a business meeting, So she know that Andy know that guy is attracted. She trying to act like the guy don't do nothing for her. No, I love Gary, and Gary's this and that. She's like, you know what? Whatever. So she Andy says she's gonna call Gary and tell him she's gonna be home late. And when she does, Gary seems like, she said, I'm meeting with the girls. I'll be home around 10. And, and he's like, okay. And she said, are you okay? And he's like, no, I just had a long, therapy session, a long therapy session. And she said, yeah, but you sound funny and stuff. And he did. And she's like, I just got a lot to process. I got a lot going on. She said, okay, then, I'll see you soon. And I love you. He said, I love you back. I thought he was going to say he loved her. I was waiting for that one. And then what else happened? Fatima calls. Oh, no. They show Danny and Zach at the airport again. And she's hesitant on leaving. She just wants to talk to him about stuff. And he's like, what is going on with you? Why are you just hanging around here? So she tell him about Preston and what's going on. And how she just, he's telling him, just tell Preston. She's like, I don't want to go, I don't want to hurt his feelings. But it's like, as Zach said, you damn near was begging him to come and move in with you and stuff. She said, no, I wasn't begging him. She said, but yeah, you want your space, but you want him too. You got to decide what you want to do. So Zach seemed like he was giving her some good information, but yet she's stuck on this. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but how you gonna know if you don't, like Zach said, how you gonna know if you don't tell him? He don't know. So how do y'all think people supposed to know that the way you're feeling? You got to be adult enough to share that information and tell him. If it hurts his feeling, it hurts his feeling, but you just got to say it in a softer kind of way. And so Zach was right. Anyway, Fatima calls and apologizes to Fatima calls and apologizes to Zach, and Zach apologizes to her, and she's like, he's like, thanks for what you do for me, something about I'm a bit of a fuck up. And she was like, no, don't say that. No, you're not. He said, oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And he's right. He is. And she's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, with my life, with my job, with jail, chain breakers and stuff. And she's like, huh? And she's like, what's going on? He said, oh, they called me today. The guy called me. He didn't even say the guy's name, which was Dion. The guy called me and said, they're going to have to let me go. It's not enough work. She's like, what? And he said, you think this your boy doing it? She was like, he said, yeah, it sounds like him. It's probably him. That's why I didn't want to mess with you, because I knew as soon as I started messing with you, it was going to be stuff. And he said, what? She said, oh, you trying to act like I did this? And he's like, no, I'm not saying that, She said, because it sounded that way, but then she started yelling. He said, now you're starting to sound like you did this morning. So can you cool out with that, And she said, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So she said, I'll call and get you back at the top. He said, no, you won't. I don't need another woman doing something for me and then saying that, as soon as I don't do exactly what she said, then they want to take everything back. And that's when she was like, ain't nobody trying to take nothing back from you, So that's when she said that part. And what else? There was something else. She started feeling bad. That's what it is. Fatima started feeling bad, and she was like, you know what? I'll be home at 8:30. Be there. He said, no, I'm gonna work a double. I need to make this money. She said, I wasn't asking you. I'm telling you to be there. And I said, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, okay, right. So Fatima is trying. I don't know. We're going to see what goes down next. So Fatima, she calls Hayden and apologizes, because we knew she wasn't going to let this go. She ain't going to let this go what he did to Zach. So she's apologizing about her attitude earlier that day. And, I just want to, make it up to you. And, I shouldn't have been that way. And I want you to come to my house. Can you come tonight at 8:30? She said, it'll mean the world to me. And he's like, okay. Like, he think his little plan is working. And she said, we could talk and maybe work this whole thing out. And she said, because I shouldn't have been so mean to you. Fatima is an actress and a damn half. I tell you, I love her. I shouldn't be so mean to you. You're a nice guy. And he's like, I'm so surprised you feel this way. She said, oh, yeah, and I'll show you how I feel tonight when you get here at 8:30. She said, he's like, what? She said, yeah, that's what you want, right? That's what you want. He said, you ain't said a word. You already know. He like, yeah. He feeling himself and licking his lips, and he all hot just thinking about getting into that behind. So Sabrina, they switched from that, because she said, yeah, I'm going to show your ass when you get here at 8:30. And from the scenes for next week, it looked like she going to be letting the girls all hang out and everything. And then they show Sabrina. She's at the Proud Bra with Maurice and stuff. And the bartender's telling her what he did with Q. And she's like, that was nice, but he still stole, Maurice. Why you let him get away with it? He said, look, I stole when I was younger, and my drag mother helped me out and stuff. And so he figured he'd help her, Q, like somebody helped him and stuff. And then it was Karen and Pam. At the, what is that called? The salon. I'm so tired. They at the salon, and they locking up, and she getting ready to go out, and Pam is telling her she got all that hair on her. She need to go home and freshen up. She's like, I ain't got time to be changing my damn clothes. Like, really? And she's like, I guess she said it ain't that serious. I hear. It's like, And nobody, once I go home, I be done with the bed. You know, it's like, I take that shower. I'm like, yeah, forget put on clothes, put on some pajamas and let's go to bed. Anyway, so they're locking up. Some man comes, he's knocking on the door. Knocking on the door, and they won't, like, we're closed, we're closed, we're closed. You're doing all of this stuff. I was like, damn, closed. And he slides the paper underneath the door. And she said, ooh, you getting sued and stuff. She's like, damn, your nosy ass. Why don't you just leave? Oh, no, I ain't leaving now. He scared me. She said, what you talking about? He scared you. He scared me. He might be waiting in the bushes for me. You know how Pam is so dramatic. She's like, ooh, girl. Oh, Lord. And she was like, look, let me tell you something. She said, what difference does it make? You like bringing home strays anyway. And she said, matter of fact, just leave. Leave. And she said, you know what? Don't come bringing no more strays in the salon, okay? Not no more. And she said, especially not at night. So don't bring them in the daytime or the nighttime. Oh, girl, whatever. I'm sorry you know that about me. You know, I'm like, oh, my God. Pam is just, I can't with her. I don't even know how Karen keeps her there, because then she asked where she was going and Karen automatically told her. Why you tell her where you're going? You should have just said none your damn business. That's what it is. So she was like, okay. And then what was the last thing they did? They showed Preston and Danny. You know, Danny's starting to work my damn nerve now. Don't be treating Preston like that. You know, he's like, damn, you look good and stuff. And she's like, I don't know if that's a compliment or a diss. Bitch, you know that's a damn compliment. He's saying you look good. And she's like, acting like, what? And he's like, okay, well, you're not going to give me a kiss? You know, she's like, you see me every day. Yeah, I see you every day, but I don't see you dressed like that. You see me naked and stuff. Yeah, you look beautiful naked and you look beautiful with clothes, but damn, you look good. And, you know, he's complimenting her, praising her. She just, oh, God, Danny, you're going to lose a good thing. You keep this, you're going to lose a good thing. So he's like, you don't go give me a kiss? Oh, yeah. You know, all this stuff. He said, damn, I didn't even taste that. You know, how was your day? It was fine. He said, this is where you ask, where's my day? Oh, no, usually I'm high when I do that. He said, when you're high, you ask more damn questions, Danny. Come on. And she's like, yeah, but that's when I smoke such and such. And she was like, man, she said, besides, I know how your day was. I bet you did this, you cattled this, da-da-da. And that damn Lucille did, and you was up on that good old tractor, wasn't you? He was like, yeah, how you know? Because you're the same damn thing every day, you know. But okay, but damn, you know how good that feels to share? Shoot. I used to share and ask my husband about his day. He never used to ask me. I'm like, what the hell? What is wrong with these people? It's a relationship. You're not single. You're not alone. You're in a relationship. You do things you don't want to do sometimes, Danny. So then it just switches over to Fatima in Andy's closet, and she's picking out shoes and a dress and all that stuff. It looked like a pantsuit, but maybe that was a pink dress. Anyway, she about to leave, and she hear Gary there. First of all, if Gary is home, and you know, did you tell Gary that you were sending Fatima, Andy? Did you tell Gary you were sending her? Is she the one that's gonna catch hell, wanting to know where's Andy going? Why you coming to get her clothes and she not? You know, this is messy, Andy. For you to be so intelligent and such a good attorney and educated, this is messy. That's to me. What if she would have got caught by Gary? But instead, we see next week she calls and said, look, you need to come home. I think you need to come and change yourself, you know. And she's telling her, I guess, what's going on. Something's happening in the bathroom. And she making her way home. And she's listening, and then she busts in the door. So we're going to see what happens. But then we also find out that Gary's wife, how Gary's wife in jail suing Andy and all her friends. How the hell? So that's going to be interesting next week. So this episode was, it was all right. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what you thought about it. And always remember to like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share. Subscribe to my channel as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. What you waiting for, honey? Help us sister channel grow. Peace.